So just to run through this thing really quick, everyone who's watching this has seen a lot of my stuff. This started off as just a forearm machine. Over the last couple of months, it's evolved into multiple stations. Right now, it is basically 3 stations. Later, the side that's against the wall, I'm going to turn that into a pec deck, so it will eventually have 4 stations. Just starting off over here, I needed a cable, basically a cable machine that was flexible and could rotate so it could emulate multiple positions and could also elevate up and down according to whatever pressures that I wanted to train. Just to kind of run through these, and I'll put up some of my training videos, me using this just to kind of use an example. But resistance in high pulley positions, mid pulley positions, lower pulley positions, whatever you want to do, whatever exercises you want to use to emulate like an arm wrestling position. I'm just going to put this down this way. It's perfect. Just kind of use an example. This would be like a defensive position. You can work all your defensive positions. You can have pulleys or band tension come from the upper hooks up there to kind of emulate different pressures and whatever exercises you wanted to do. But it's a basic exercise machine, you know, basic pulley, you add weight, super smooth. This one over here works your hands. I just kind of, 25 pounds on there right now, just kind of run through here and roll this up. I had to relocate this like 4 or 5 times. It's in a perfect position right now. Just to kind of work supination, pronation. This machine is capable of giving every resistance that a real person, a real opponent would give. I wouldn't make this. I made this specifically that it would have every possible resistance that you could imagine that you would get in a real arm wrestling match. Basically, this acts as your shoulder joint. This here basically acts as your elbow joint. This would act as the wrist joint. Allows you to have back pressure, a little bit of up and back pressure. Here, you got your basic side pressure. Right here you would have, where you'd be able to cup, and you'd also be able to have your pronation. Now I have it on the hardest setting, your pronation right here. I made this tight. This has a bunch of cushioning around it, but I wanted it tight like as if I were in a strap and as if someone were squeezing my thumb, right up high on my thumb, my knuckle. I wanted to create an opponent as realistic as I possibly could. For that to happen, I needed to create every resistance that I would experience in an arm wrestling match. So, for example, when you grip up with somebody, usually they squeeze pretty hard. They always squeeze as high as they can on your knuckle, and they always want to start carving in someone like that. Now I can manipulate this in any way I want. There's a lot to kind of talk about in terms of different kinds of resistance on this and how you can manipulate it. Right now I just have it set up in the most basic standard way to use it, just to kind of show it off. I'll show a few, but right now I just kind of wanted to give a basic example of what it can do. So for right now, if you were to like setting up with an opponent, the person would be carving in a little bit. They'd also be pushing back a little bit. Now this has only got 25 pounds on it right now. 25 pounds back pressure. It also has a resistance, spring resistance with the side pressure a little bit, but you can put as much side pressure on either side that you want. The shoulder joint comes in, elbow joint can rotate inward and it's able to return to position just on these springs, and you can control the resistance and side pressure basically from either one of these pulleys, and any number of various of bands that you want to add on there. Keep the elbow inside, cup, pronate, side pressure, or you can just isolate where you feel like you need to get stronger. So the table is made to WAF specs generally. I made sure that all the dimensions were correct, from the pads to the pegs to the opponent. Give an example of how I would train with this right now. You can go in any direction. You can work on, like from right here. As soon as I pull it out, it's attacking my hand. So if I wanted to just isolate my cupping, I can just plant my elbow down into the pad and work just on my cupping. To really work like a defensive position, I would just unclip this or just clip this onto a different attachment so it attacks a different area into my hand. Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Full pronation, cup. Right there. That's hard to emulate. Posting top roll. So right here, be fighting someone trying to top roll me. Ooh, man. Hot that thing.
Shoulder, it is unstoppable. The match went into a hook, and I actually didn't even know it until someone reminded me afterwards. All I know is when he turned in, I drove my press arm and his arm went down.
Woo, it's like there's a bit of appendix on some bitch.
What a start.
Make sure I don't elbow on.
Just like you want. Monster, Michael Todd.
Monster, Michael Todd.
She's the team.